the whole time?
Yeah, that's the whole idea. I'm going to make you regret you ever took this aside. You want to wait until we know?
We don't wait till what?
You're trying to drown me out. I was going to say, do you want to wait until we're on the main road?
What? What is a muscle car? Some think it's anything with a V8 and rear-wheel drive. Others think it's got to be an intermediate body. Aaron, what are you doing?
That's my Fratsonic chambered exhaust, baby.
Speaker under your bumper.
Yes, but Dodge says this is the future of the muscle car. 670 electric horsepower and all the noise and all the fury and all the glory of a classic V8 muscle car.
It doesn't have a V8.
No, it doesn't actually have a V8. This is true.
You know it has a V8.
That.
Yes, this Ford Mustang Dark Horse, the iconic Mustang. 5 liters, 500 horsepower. What else do you need?
All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to head off into the desert, and we're going to figure out which of these two is the better muscle car.
Let's do it.
You drive first. So we're in the Mustang. Now, this is a dark horse, so it's not exactly the muscle Mustang, just Ford couldn't schedule us in a GT. This is more the track-ready Mustang.
Ford's answer to BMW's M, etc.
Yes, but what I like about it is even though it's a track-focused car, I think this still does everything I expect of a modern muscle car, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Got the V8, got the launch mode, it's got an electronic line locker, it does that. There's a lot of people who will say, oh, it's a pony car, and we would agree. A pony car is different. Well, I would agree.
You would agree. I mean, granted, so the muscle cars I grew up with were Fox bodies. They were SN95 Mustangs, New Edge Mustangs. Those were all we had. We didn't have Chargers. We didn't have GTOs. And, you know, the GTO is a Holden.
That's because you didn't live in the golden age. I mean, granted, I was, still crawling when the last Challengers were going away, but, there was a time when muscle cars were just, let's be honest, big and stupid, and that's what made them so great.
I mean, my dad, I grew up with stories from my dad talking about his 72 Chevelle SS 454, plowing through cornfields because they go off-road and stuff. And it's just like, A, how did you survive? But B, that does sound pretty awesome. And having driven some of those old classics, there's just something so special about, a 68 GTO, for instance.
So even though this might not be a proper muscle car, I think we can agree that it plays the part of a muscle car on
Quite
TV.
well. Absolutely.
All right, this is the perfect strip. Let's do our simulated stoplight rally. You're playing your Lou Graham. There's a guy next to you in a GTO. Light is red, light is red. Light's green! There's 60. If you're used to a 60s muscle car, by that standard, this thing is just amazingly fast.
Right.
Spins the tires, makes all the noise.
It's dramatic.
It's dramatic, but also we're a little hard to impress.
Very hard to impress.
Because we've driven stuff that goes 0 to 60 in 2 seconds and change. Actually, under 2 seconds for that Tesla.
Yeah.
And even so, this thing, listen, by 60 muscle car standards, this thing is just top of the roost. Way the hell faster than any of those old cars can go. Definitely gonna put a big grin on your face. But the thing is, even though our comparison is more about the muscle car elements of it, every time I drive this car on a curvy road, I'm like, damn, this thing's good.
I will say, this is arguably the peak of the internal combustion muscle car right here. Maybe you can argue, and I probably would, the old Shelby GT350 with that flat plane crank V8 was just got no better than that. But these muscle cars now can go fast straight line, they can handle just as well, they can brake. So it's really an all-around awesome driving machine. You don't have to make any apologies for it. It does everything you want to embarrass others and just put a smile on your face, which is really the whole point of the segment.
I get excited when I see sanctioned racing events, like the Rolex 24 or the car they ran at Le Mans, and I see a Mustang that's out there really duking it out with these serious performance cars, but knowing that the soul of the American muscle car is still there.
It's a point of pride, in all honesty. Just like British people, start crying when you talk about roadsters. This is what we're known for.
Let's give Ford credit. GM did the same thing. They did some amazing Camaros.
Oh my God.
Let's give the American engineers credit that they engineered a chassis where we could have a really good handling car and we didn't have to lose that giant lump of iron up front.
Again, no
Setting
compromises.
aside the C8 Corvette.
Setting aside the C8 Corvette, yes.
Yes, really is no compromises. I would put this dark horse up against the best of any sports car.
Absolutely.
It really is. We've driven it on the track.
Yeah.
When I drove this on the track, I did think it felt like it was going to do funky things. You have to know you can trust the car. And maybe the element of trust has to be higher and more immediately assumed than it would in a Porsche. But my goodness, what this thing will do.
Yeah, fantastic. Quite an amazing accomplishment.
I think we are going to agree that even though this may not be the most representative muscle car, the Charger's going to have to hit a very, very high bar for us to say it is a proper muscle car.
Especially considering all the traditional muscle car aspects it does away with, like the V8.
Like the V8.
You know, the rear-wheel drive, at least in this electric version.
Yeah, if the Charger can stand up to the performance this Mustang can give, then it's going to be a real credit to Stellantis.
Absolutely.
I think now that we're in the beautiful town of Mojave, you should pull over, we should eat lunch, and then we should get into the Charger and see what it does.
Let's stop at McDonald's. Nothing more American.
You ready?
Let's do it.
Oh,
It's really dark.
I know, but like, it's awesome, right? I mean, is it any less impressive than the Mustang?
Yes.
So let's talk about what a muscle car has to do, okay? First of all, sound and fury.
Yes.
Now, it's fake, which I admittedly is a little cheesy, but it is convincing, is it not?
It is. You get that sound context that you miss in other electric vehicles.
Okay, well, here's the real test. First thing, we talked about noise, but really, most important thing about muscle car is acceleration. I'm not even going to use any of the fancy launch mode. We're sitting next to your Mustang right now. I don't know why you're here when your Mustang's out there. Blah, blah, blah. Light turns green.
I mean, that's some G.
We were shoved. We weren't just fake going like that. We were shoved back in our seats. So acceleration, check. 0 to 60. Dodge is saying 3.3 seconds. They lied because we tested it at MotorTrend and it did it in 3.2. 3.2 seconds to 60. Quarter mile, 11 and a half seconds. Now, back in the day, even the fire-breathing Hemi Charger from the mid and the late 60s, if one of those things could do 14 seconds in the quarter, that was pretty amazing. 13, you were really, really hauling the nail. 11 and a half seconds, you couldn't do that with a second Hemi engine and like another truckload of carburetors strapped onto the thing. You just couldn't do it.
This has some advantages built into it being an EV, though.
Yes, that is true, because it can put power down to the ground in a way that a rear-wheel drive V8-powered car just can't. Now, I have to say, this is probably one of the nicest interiors that we've seen out of Stellantis in a very long time.
It is genuinely gorgeous.
Yeah, I love it with this red light reflected up in the dash, which of course you can't see. For a short guy like me, everything's in touch because that's important, because I don't know if you know, statistically, muscle car owners are 2 inches shorter than everybody else.
That tracks.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I read that somewhere. It might have been in the Reader's Digest. No, I really like the ergonomics. It has the fury. It has the sound. What else does muscle car have to do? Well, it has to look cool.
It does look so cool.
Oh, I gotta go before this guy comes up. Yeah. Okay, I don't care how many Chrysler Hemi cars you own, how many 454s you own. That's impressive.
It is objectively impressive.
And the size, you were talking about how this thing has a practical back seat. It's a hatchback, so it's got a nice big trunk. That actually tracks, because a lot of the muscle cars were really big cars. They were intermediates. Yeah. By the way, I'm with you. You mentioned the old Chargers. I think the 1968 Dodge Charger is one of the most beautiful cars ever created. Certainly one of the most beautiful Chryslers ever created. And the way they've imitated the way the flanks of the car go up over the fenders, and you can actually see that line in the side of your mirror. Aside from the fact the mirrors are big and usable, the Charger had these little mirrors, but looking out over my shoulder, you can almost convince yourself that there is 68 Charger out behind it.
In all honesty, I think it's the best design that's come out of Stellantis as of late.
Of course, the biggest shortcoming of this car is the range, of which there is not much. So if you drive, this car, what's the EPA rating on this?
This one this has the super sticky tire, so it's about 220, give or take a few miles.
And we found that if we were, after our performance testing, when we've been, kind of driving it for all it's worth, that would drop to under 200. But, the Mustang, after 200 miles in the Mustang, you need to fuel it up as well. So the range is about the same. The problem is, it is obviously a lot easier to fuel up the Mustang than it is to charge up the Charger.
And I think part of that problem is the fact that Dodge went high performance on the motors, but they did not go high performance with the voltage system, which is 400 volts instead of 800 volts or more, like you're seeing on Hyundai, Kia, etc.
Yeah, when we charged this thing before our video shoot, we were jealous of the guy in the Kia EV9 who was like in and out of there in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
No one in a muscle car, electric or gasoline powered, should be ever jealous of a Kia. That's not a good look. We both felt some tram lining, you know, with these great big sticky tires kind of grab the road and go hither and thither a little bit. But you know what? This thing rides comfortably. It's reasonably quiet. I can't say this is as much fun as the Mustang. It's nowhere near as much fun on a curvy road. It is surprisingly competent, but you know, the long distance comfort is something that I really admire. And again, if you think about it, all those classic muscle cars were generally built on the intermediates. You know, they were fairly comfortable riding cars. But it just amazes me how much this car meets the bar that was set by the Mustang. But we have to contemplate, with fake noise, with the electric motor, with all the software advances, is it even a muscle car, period? I will never get tired of that.
It's pretty great.
Right?
I do like the fact that they use the turbine car. That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. I gotta be honest, much as I love the Dodge, I really thought the Mustang was gonna drive away with this one, but Charger's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I came in here thinking there's no way the Mustang's gonna be beat, but the Charger's fantastic.
You know what? The Charger does so many traditional muscle car things. It's ridiculously fast, faster than the Mustang. It's got the noise, got the fury, it looks good, it shock and awe, you know?
There's one important thing every muscle car needs to be able to do.
Oh, I was hoping you wouldn't come up with this.
We gotta see if we can do a burnout.
The burnout.
Let's go try.
Let's try it.
Charger can't do a burnout.
Charger really can't do a burnout, can it?
Turn the volume up on your little speaker.
Oh, you're funny. But you know, the thing is, like, Dodge could program it to do a burnout. They could program in a line lock. They could program more power to the rear end. So maybe someday it'll be able to do a burnout.
Someday. But
Yeah,
not
no.
today. No. So for now, I think we can both agree the best muscle car you can get, this baby, Ford Mustang.
It's the Mustang. For more about these fantastic cars and all things automotive, visit us on the web at MotorTrend.com. Hey, I'm doing a video. Don't talk to me. I'm doing a video over here. I told this guy, I said the Charger's a decent muscle car. Guy looks at me like I got tree heads.
Who cares?
Who cares? What's an electric muscle car? What the is that? I says, a muscle car without a V8? Why don't you have a pizza without the cheese? I says, get the out of here. That's what I says to the guy. I says.